Hello, every pony. Scar89 here, once again with another fanfiction reading. Today, just because I haven't done one for a while, I am going to continue the reading of Milo Chrono Triggers Are Magic by Pavira, I think? Pavira? Anyway. Chapter 5, I believe. Um, yeah, Chapter 5. So yeah, without further ado, I will. Here is Chapter 5 of My Little Chronos Triggers Magic. The Queen is Gone. 600 AD. Manuel Abbey. Or is that Mainwell Abbey? I don't know. Twilight Sparkle and Rainbow Dash cautiously entered the abbey. While not as regal or awe-inspiring as the interior of Shurgadia Castle, the abbey was quite a spectacle in its own right. Luscious red carpeting covered the stone floor, leading to the front of the room, flanked on both sides by wooden pews. Rainbow Dash noted that, unlike the furnishings of Equus Inn, these pews had been stained and finished, looking much more refined. A few nuns were resting on the pews, quietly meditating. At the front of the room, another nun was making preparations at an altar, basked in the light from an ornate stained glass mural. The two ponies walked up to the altar. Twilight Sparkle nervously coughed and whispered lightly, not wishing to disturb the quiet serenity of the chamber. Um, excuse me, miss. May we have a word with you? The nun turned towards the ponies and smiled. Oh, uh, what delightful guest! Welcome to our humble abbey. May you be blessed with peace and good fortune. She bowed politely. How may we help you? Rainbow Dash frowned as the nun smiled at her. While her demeanor and expression were gentle, there was still something off-putting, something in the look of her eyes. It almost reminded Rainbow Dash of... We are looking for Queen Diana, continued Twilight Sparkle. Apparently she went missing earlier, and no pony has seen her since. By any chance, have you seen her here at the Abbey? The nun gently shook her head. I am truly sorry. As we told the Bolt Knights earlier, Her Highness the Queen has not visited our abbey in quite some time. I am sorry we could not be of more help to you. Please, do not trouble yourselves. You should make yourself comfortable and rest in peace. Rainbow Dash looked around her. The rest of the nuns were looking up at the ponies, disturbed from their meditations. Rainbow Dash felt a growing sense of unease. Hey, Twi, it sounds like the rumor was no good after all. Maybe we should look someplace. She suddenly stopped as something on the ground glittered and caught her attention. Quizzically, she walked over to it and took a look. Dash, what's up? What are you looking at? The unicorn lifted the object using her magic and took a closer look. Looks like some kind of coral main piece. Rainbow Dash gasped. The king said the queen had a coral main piece. If it's here... She suddenly pushed Twilight behind her, drawing her katana. The four nuns had begun encircling the ponies, eyes glowing red. She called out she called out a challenge to them. We're on to you, you creepy nuns! Give us back the queen! The nuns suddenly exploded in a red, blinding light. Rainbow Dash had to shake her head clear to regain her vision. When she looked back at first it seemed that nothing had changed. She still saw four ponies. In horror she realized that while each of them still had the front half of a pony, their hindquarters had been replaced with the body of a snake. Rearing upright, the nega slithered closer, baring their fangs and screeching. Snakes! Twilight Sparkle screamed in horror, diving into the corner and covering her head. Snakes! The Pegasus dashed between the Naga and her friend, flaring her wings wide. She knew that ever since Twilight Sparkle was a filly, she had been terribly afraid of icky, creepy, and or disgusting animals. And unfortunately, snakes ranked fairly high on that list, remaining meaning that she wouldn't be of much assistance in this fight. Even though Rainbow Dash wasn't afraid of snakes, the half pony, half snake monstrosities before her were still quite unsettling. Nevertheless, there was one of Rainbow Dash, and there was one of Rainbow. What? Nevertheless, there was one of Rainbow Dash, and only four of the Naga. Oh, okay, I get it. They just worded that wrong. This was going to be a snap. Leaping, she air dashed straight into the closest Naga, gashing it deeply. Caught off guard from the sudden burst of speed, it fell with a cry. Rainbow Dash's attack had left Twilight unguarded, however. Two of the Naga slithered toward her, hooves outstretched. Facing them from the distance, Rainbow Dash fiercely slashed in their direction. A blade of wind emitted from her katana, flying toward the Naga. One of them managed to leap back in time, exposing its companion to the full blast of her wind slash attack. It let out a terrifying screech, but remained upright. Rainbow Dash charged the injured Naga blade first and ran it through. It screeched futilely at the Pegasus's face with its hooves, but soon expired. Seeing another opening, another Naga tried to slip behind her, heading for the cowering unicorn. Catching sight of the enemy, Rainbow Dash pushed off the corpse with her front legs, catching the Naga squarely in the jaw with a well-timed kick. Landing squarely on the ground, she twisted sharply and ended the creature with an uppercut slash. Panting, Rainbow Dash turned to her friend, sheathing her blade. "You okay, Twy?" The unicorn looked up, wiping her eyes, and nodded meekly. However, her expressions quickly changed to one of silent horror, and she pointed behind Rainbow Dash. Okay. She turned quickly to see a Naga in mid-pounce. "Another one? Did I miscount?" The Naga was nearly on top of her, and her katana was sheathed. She wouldn't have time to react. She braced herself to take the full impact of the hit. Just as the Naga was about to strike, it let out a blood-curdling shriek and collapsed in a heap on the floor in front of her. Confused, she instinctively looked down at the corpse, trying to determine what had happened. As she looked up, she gasped at the new creature before her. The creature walked on four legs, much like a pony. It even had a unicorn's horn, which was levitating the broadsword that slain the Naga. The face of the creature, however, strongly appeared to be that of a pony-sized frog. Okay. Unlike a pony's soft-haired body. This creature had greenish skin, hairless and moist. Instead of hooves, its legs ended in webbed feet. On its torso, it wore gem-studded golden vest over a white silken blouse, partially obscured by a heavy, dark green cape across its back. After carefully cleaning the broadsword with a rag from its saddlebags, and sheathing the broadsword with its horn, the creature turned to Rainbow Dash and spoke. "My dear, you simply must be more cautious. Stay ever vigilant until the bitter end, as it were." Confused by the juxtaposition of creature's bizarre appearance, yet fashionable armor and sophisticated speech, Rainbow Dash glanced back at Twilight Sparkle for guidance. Wait, is that supposed to be rarity? I don't know. However, the unicorn was still cowering in fear in the corner. Rainbow Dash sighed and rolled her eyes. She's scared of frogs too, isn't she? Turning back, cautious. Turning back, she I think that's supposed to be cautiously replied. Yeah, thanks. I guess I owe you one. For the save. I guess I'm just gonna read this in a deeper kind of frog voice until it says something. Okay. "Think nothing of it," the creature beamed, eyes contently closed. I simply did what any pony would have done. Oh, I simply did what any pony would have done. It walked past Rainbow Dash and approached the curled-up Twilight Sparkle, placing a web pad on her shoulder. "Are you all right?" Caught by surprise, Twilight Sparkle leapt up onto the tips of her hooves, shivering against the wall. "A frog! A gross, slimy frog just touched me! Ew, 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 ew!" She frantically scratched at her own shoulder with a hoof, desperately trying to remove whatever cooties were contaminating her. It smiled back cheerily at the unicorn, though its eyes told a different story. Yes, I do apologize for my dreary appearance. I realize that it can be quite burdensome for some ponies to handle. I shan't impose on you any further." Bowing politely, the creature turned and began to walk towards the altar. Twilight Sparkle recovered from her initial fear reaction, and, realizing what she had just said, her face turned beet red. "Wait! Stop, please! I'm so sorry! That was a horrible thing for me to say, especially after you had just saved us." She hesitantly approached the creature, torn between her phobia and her strong desire to make amends with her words. Please, please forgive me. My friends and I are truly in your debt." She bit her lip nervously. The creature smiled back. While its smile had remained almost completely unchanged during this encounter, the earnest apology had been well received, and its high spirits returned. "Thank you, dearie. Though truly, do not worry yourself over it. You and I are quite all right." Twilight Sparkle. Okay, I'm starting to think this is Rarity, just in a frog, that frog character from Chrono Trigger. But I don't know. Okay, so I think that is a girl. It might be Rarity, as I just looked on ahead. Sorry for that weird silence. Okay. Uh. Quite alright. Okay. Twilight Sparkle returned the smile, relieved. However, she was still uneasy at its appearance. She was at a loss for words. The two stood smiling silently as an awkward pause filled the room. Rainbow Dash quickly jumped in to fill the void. "So, what are you doing here in the Abbey anyway?" Its expressions turned serious. "It would seem that Her Royal Majesty Queen Diane is being held against her will, hidden deep within this lair. As a sworn protector of Her Majesty, it is my solemn duty to rescue her." The two friends exchanged a glance. "So the Queen was here in the Abbey after all." Concerned, Twilight Sparkle turned back. "But you were going to go in here all by yourself?" It struck a pose with its head held high, radiantly confident and elegant. "But of course, just because I'm a lady doesn't mean I cannot handle myself in a sticky situation." "A lady?" Twilight Sparkle hadn't really thought of this creature as a lady, let alone as a fellow pony. Realizing how her question sounded out loud, she blushed fiercely again and stammered, Yes, you really don't seem like a bad lady, pony, frog thing?" She turned pleading to Rainbow Dash with a look that screamed, "Bail me out!" Rainbow Dash raised a hoof upwards, shrugging with a look that replied, Wait, what? You want me to talk this out?" Twilight Sparkle sighed and closed her eyes. After a short pause, she turned back to the creature. "Please, miss, please, miss, let us join." Wait, is that? Oh, that is Twilight. Okay. "Please, miss, let us join you." The Pegasus was genuinely surprised. "Twi, are you are you sure? With your fear of..." She nodded solemnly. "We owe her so much already, both for saving us from those snake ponies and for forgiving me for for hateful words. I want to repay her for all her generosity. If that means if that means putting up with a phobia or two, I'll just have to put up with her. I mean..." She blushed again, scrunching up her face in frustration. "Thank you. I humbly accept your offer. This will be much safer with the three of us together. Not to mention, journeying is much more enjoyable with company." So I'm guessing this is Rainbow Dash, and I'm doing it with a male voice. I am so in trouble. Let's just say that when Rarity's a frog, she gets a deeper voice. Or she's disguising it. Except it's enjoyable. Okay. Rainbow Dash grinned. "Sweet! It'll be great to have another sword pony with us. You pulled a pretty decent move on that Naga back there." She returned the grin. As Pegasus and Frog sized each other up. "You were demonstrating some impressive blade maneuvers yourself," she blinked. "Heavens, I was so caught up that I never introduced myself. My name..." Well, I won't bore you with the long and uninteresting story. For now, it will suffice to refer to me as Frog. Okay, Frog. If you say so. My name's Rainbow Dash, and I'm the scaredy pony over there." Suddenly, a defencing noise filled the air, covering both ears with a deafening. Oh, deafening! I don't. What is wrong with me? That's deafening. Suddenly, a deafening noise filled the air, covering both ears with her hooves. Rainbow Dash looked first to Frog, then to Twilight. There was no pony there. Looking frantically around the room, she finally spotted Twilight Sparkle. She had wandered over to a large organ sitting in the corner, and was currently pressing on some of the keys with her horn's magic, filling the room filling the room and their brains with vibrations from the large pipes. Oh, what the hey? Twi! Knock it off! She released the keys, granting a momentary relief. I think this sheet music is a clue, she shouted about the ringing of her own ears. Rainbow Dash flicked annoyed at her own ears, trying to regain her hearing. I'm trying to play it. Luckily, I was reading up on beginner's musical theory just a few months ago. I think I remember. She studied the sheet music intensely. Let's see. E flat, G flat, B flat, D flat, F natural. Locating all of the keys on the organ, she pressed the chord. The haunting chord filled the chamber again, reverberating off the walls. Over the din, a low rumbling could be heard, followed by a loud thud. The ponies shook their heads, trying to recover their senses. My, what a dreary sound, Frog said. It doesn't fit with the gentle beauty of this cathedral at all. After the welcome party those nuns threw for us, I doubt there's anything gentle about this place, Rainbow Dash tersely added. Twilight Sparkle gasped. Girls, look! On the opposite end of the room, a carved wooden relief had disappeared, leaving a black gaping hole in the wall. The resonating of the harmonics must have served as a key to the entrance. We can go deeper into the abbey now. She smiled at her two companions. I wonder what we'll find inside. 600 AD. Manuel Abbey. Interior halls. Bats! Twilight Sparkle answered her own questions. Bats! The sword ponies were leaping about, slashing in the air, trying to scare off the winged creatures. We know! Growled Rainbow Dash, teeth clenched on her katana's hilt. The bats flittered down the hall, sufficiently spooked by the two flying blades. As their flapping leathery wings grew quieter, Twilight Sparkle shakily rose to her hooves. Thanks, she said quietly. Rainbow Dash gave a sigh of annoyance. We need to move faster. The queen could be in real danger. Right. Sorry. The companions looked around. They were in yet another dimly lit corridor. Despite the dim lighting and restricted access to this section of the abbey, the beautiful furnishing and decorations from the main chamber were present. Sorry. The beautiful furnishing and decorations from the main chamber were present here too. However, in the dim candlelight, surrounded by monsters and vermin, the appearance of the corridors chilled them with icy, ominous dread. In the dim lighting, Frog made something out. There appears to be, some type of notice written here, it would seem. Rainbow Dash approached Frog, who was standing in front of a piece of parchment nailed hastily to one of the walls. No entry, she read. Confused, she... Oh, is that... Oh, that must have been, That must be Rainbow Dash. No entry, she read. Confused, she looked up and down the hallway, then back at the note. No entry to where? There's no door here. Somewhat confused, they pressed further on, following the dimly lit hallways. As they walked, Frog tried to lighten the mood with some conversation. I must say, it's quite a rare sight to see a pair of adventurers like yourselves. Most of the brave ponies have already enlisted in the Royal Guard, or the Bolt Knights, or that like, to do battle with Nightmare Moon's forces. If I may be so bold, what land do you two... Sorry. If I may be so bold, what land do the two of you hail from? Us? Twilight Sparkle nervously replied. Oh, nowhere special. Born and raised right here in the town of Aquis. Oh yeah. Except we're from the future, 1000 AD to be exact. Wait, does that make any sense? Yeah, it does. Rainbow Dash? What? She asked. Oh, what? She asked. You can't just go around telling every pony that. Who knows what kind of ramifications that could have on our time stream? Huh? What's the big deal? I've already told that to a lot of ponies, and nothing bad's happened. Twilight Sparkle was mortified. What? Who? Like every pony in Icarus Inn. I guess none of them believed me, though. Oh my. Oh my. The future? The frog jumped back into the conversation. That must be a dream come true. My, to think of the fashion and the luxury that could be invented over the course of 4 long centuries. She gasped in excitement. Oh, please tell me that emeralds are back in vogue. I, er, I don't really know the fashion trends all that closely. Twilight Sparkle gave Frog a quizzical look. You don't seem all that surprised. Isn't it odd for ponies to be claiming to be time travelers? Oh, well, somewhat, I suppose. After all, you're the first ponies I've met who have claimed to be from the future. But, my dear, we live in magical times, and I have seen more than my fair share of mysteries and sorcery. It's not all that unthinkable that some pony could manage to traverse the flow of time. And besides, the two of you seem to be kind, honest ponies. I see no reason that you would be lying to me about something such as this. Yes, I've slipped back to my rarity voice. I'm sorry. Wow, that's so open-minded of you. It's really impressive, Frog. Frog turned to Rainbow Dash. What about you, darling? You simply must tell me all about the latest trends with hats in the... Oh my god. Not the hat joke again! I must admit, I did make a hat joke, actually, in the story that I wrote. Crisscross Crisis. Ponyville's Crisscross Crisis. Crisscross Crisis in Chapter 2. I made a few hat jokes, and Rarity's a marshmallow joke. Go read it. I might put a link down below. I don't know. Probably. Okay. Where did you simply must tell me about the latest trends with hats in the year you're from. With that gorgeous, if somewhat messy, mate of yours, I'm sure that you're always dressing in style. Nope. Hmm? Hey girls, look! Twilight Sparkle had stopped a few paces back, next to a small wooden door. Giving it a gentle nudge, it slowly swung inwards with a soft creak. Check out what's inside. Might as well. Tucking her blade out halfway, just in case, Rainbow Dash kicked the door open and walked inside. Ah, you have arrived! Queen Diana smiled warmly. I'm relieved that you made it here safely. The three companions gasped. True to their expectation, Queen Diana was a beautiful pink pony in a regal flowing white dress. Indeed, she bore an uncanny resemblance to Pinkie Pie. At least, the dolled-up 600 AD version, not the spunky free spirit that Rainbow Dash had met in the millennial summer sun celebration. Unlike Pinkie Pie, though, her poise was soft and elegant. It was clear that they were in the presence of true royalty, and yet there were no guards, no chains, no cell. The queen hardly appeared to be a prisoner. Indeed, behind her, a table appeared to be set for afternoon tea. My queen! Frog hopped forward to Queen Diana, kneeling respectfully before her. You are in great peril. Come, we must depart at once. Ah, Frog, my faithful protector. I am so happy that you have come to save me. She giggled softly. But this is simply a misunderstanding. I am an honored guest, not a prisoner. What? Rainbow Dash stepped forward. What do you mean, guest? I thought Nightmare Moon's goons were trying to kill you. Kill? Dear Pegasus, far from it. From the side of the room, King Sugar Dia the 21st stepped forward. What? Oh, that was... Oh, okay. Kill? Dear Pegasus, far from it. From the side of the room, King Sugar Dia the 21st stepped forward. Yakara, the master of this abbey, is a kind and peaceful creature. He summoned my wife and myself here in order to meet with Nightmare Moon, that we might negotiate a peace treaty. At least, we will be able to put this dreadful war behind us. Peace treaty? Twilight Sparkle pulled a book from her saddlebag and began flipping furiously through it. With Nightmare... who's saying this? I think this is with uh oh, okay, I get it. It's Frog. Okay, with Nightmare Moon. My lord and lady, with the utmost respect, Nightmare Moon has been leading the fiends of the world in a crusade to purge the world of all pony kind. How could such a demon be reasoned with? Queen Diana shook her head. My loyal frog, you mustn't be too hasty. Nightmare Moon has been our enemy in the past, but all creatures large and small crave friendship. She motioned behind her to a large golden statue. Wonderful Nightmare Moon has agreed to live in harmony with the pony folk, ushering in a new era of peace and prosperity. Hesitantly, Frog and Rainbow Dash approached the statue. It depicted a towering, armor-clad alicorn. A long, glistening mane flowed from her helmet, with a matching tail sweeping wispily around its hooves in a most artistic way. Rainbow Dash was both awestruck and terrified of the golden alicorn depicted in the statue. This, this is Nightmare Moon. That was this is Nightmare Moon. Frog glared coldly at the statue, unblinking. There is she. This is she, a cruel, monstrous deity of hatred. Our kingdom, our very lives will never be safe as long as her black heart still beats. I cannot for the life of me fathom why dearest Queen Diana would believe. Dash! Twilight Sparkle cried out. Rainbow Dash collapsed as the full weight of the Naga crashed down on her. She let out a cry of pain as its fangs dug deep into her back near the root of her wing. Frog swiftly raised her broadsword with her telekinesis, but before she could assist, the other Naga charged her, forcing her to engage. She sparred the creature, moving hardly at it, forcing the brunt of her might into the flurry of telekinesis swings of her blade. Exploiting an opening, she gasped the creature's neck, felling it. Rainbow Dash tried. Rainbow Dash tried weakly to buck the Naga off her, but with its weight pinned her close to the ground, and the sharp pain in her back, she couldn't get the proper leverage. Nevertheless, the creature released its bite and flew off. Looking up, Rainbow Dash saw that Frog's stretchy elastic tongue had wrapped around the creature, pulling it off the Pegasus and rapidly in Frog's direction. With a mighty upward thrust, she ran the creature through, and it collapsed beside its partner. Oh, why am I yawning so much today? Oh, that's not good. Rainbow Dash winced, applying pressure to her bleeding wound. Grr, let me guess. The king and queen, they were imposters, weren't they? Just like the nuns. It would seem so. Frog approached their companions. Oh, I feel so foolish that I was deceived by such rudimentary magics. As the queen's protector, I ought to be able to see through the parlor tricks of mere pawns. Leaning down, she began gently licking Rainbow Dash's wounds. Oh, here's another stupid yawn. Okay. Sorry about that. Leaning down, she began gently licking Rainbow Dash's wound with her sticky tongue. Rainbow Dash looked up at her, bewildered with her mouth agape. Trust me, she quickly added, blushing. No pony finds this more revolting than I. But over the years, I have learned that my, spit has healing properties that will help you with your recover. Just sit still and we'll get this over with. Quickly. She resumed her rather unusual treatment of the wound. Why didn't she just spit into a jar and, do that, like a salve or something, instead of just salivating? I made a pun. Salivating. After she had finished, Rainbow Dash rose to her hooves, tentatively stretching and flapping her wings. Huh. I guess it is starting to feel a lot better. Thanks, Frog. She looked around the room for the third pony. Unsurprisingly, Twilight Sparkle was curled in the corner, not moving. That queen was a big old fake. We need to keep looking. Come on. There was no reply. Twilight, dearie, are you hurt? I can try to treat your wounds before we press onward. I thought she just said it was disgusting. Ooh, where he likes it on other little girl pony. I'm kidding. No. Her reply was soft and monotone. Go on without me. What? Hot tears fell from Twilight Sparkle's face. Unlike earlier, these were not tears of fear and panic. These tears were born of hatred of her own weakness. I've done nothing but slow you down. Every time we've been attacked, I've been such a... She said as she clenched her eyes tightly shut. Such a coward! I've been too scared to help any pony. Even when I saw the snake pony charging at Rainbow Dash, I wanted to help, to protect her, but I couldn't. I just couldn't! Rainbow Dash felt her stomach knot up with guilt. All this time, she'd been growing frustrated with the unicorn's hesitation and fear, and had been pushing her harder, without fully emphasizing with her fear or frustration. Twilight, I'm so sorry. I was just... Frog looked down upon Twilight Sparkle. If you didn't want to help any pony, you could have stayed back at the castle. Frog! Rainbow Dash was appalled. Leave Twi alone. Twilight Sparkle's head jerked up. What? Stayed behind? Her eyes her eyes glassed over as she mulled the thought over for a second. No, I couldn't just... Rainbow Dash was... She shook her head, trying to clear it. I wanted to help. To help your friend... To help your friend, yes? What? To help your friend, yes? Frog smiled, laying down in front of Twilight Sparkle so that they were eye to eye. And Queen Diana, so you came here, ignoring the dangers that might befall you. And when you got here, you encountered snakes and bats and all manners of creepy critters. But still you pressed onward, because you did not want to abandon your friends. Is that your idea of a coward? She reached out with a webbed foot and gently held her hoof. That sounds like a brave little pony to me. She sniffed. She sniffed wetly. Brave? Yeah. Yeah, Frog's right. And you haven't been useless. Rainbow Dash stepped forward energetically, cheering her friend on. We couldn't have even gotten inside here without you, remember? You were the one who opened up the door by playing an organ, like that one. Yeah, I guess That one? Rainbow Dash was pointing to the near corner. Next to the door stood another organ keyboard, identical in design to the first. Twilight Sparkle rose excitedly to her hooves. Another organ! That must be why we haven't been able to find our way deeper. If I play the same chord here, it should open up another hidden passageway. Frog followed behind her. That sounds like a marvelous idea. Give it a go. The roaring, dissonant notes filled the abbey once again. As Twilight Sparkle released the keys, the chords echoed until it faded softly into the bowels of the structure. Oh, stupid yawning. She excitedly looked around the room, trying to locate a new opening in the wall. Slowly, the smile faded from her face. Bowing her head and staring at the floor, and she quietly murmured, It didn't work. No way! Rainbow Dash took the air. That plan had to have worked. The new hole must be in a different room. She immediately raced out of the room and turned down the corridor. There just has to be a new path. Rainbow Dash thought to herself. I know there is, because I believe in Twi. Her face lit up. Twi! Come quick! As her companions raced to catch up, Rainbow Dash excitedly pointed to the wall. She had flown back to the note that was nailed to the wall. Next to the note now stood an open door leading deeper into the abbey. Another door! You did it! Twilight Sparkle looked at the door, then back at her companions. Frog? Rainbow Dash? Drying her eyes, she smiled wholeheartedly. Thank you. As they entered the new passageway, they failed to notice that the paper's wording had completely changed. It now read, Those who have decided a path in their hearts will find a way through. 600 AD. Manuel Abbey. inner sanctum. How much is more of this to read? Oh, there's so much more to read in this. Like another thousand or so words. I don't know. The party raced down another corridor, running and flying at breakneck speed. They were still progressing deeper into the catacombs. But there was no sign of creature. Trying to snap myself awake. In their guts, an overwhelming sense of dread was uh, warming them that they were running out of time. Warning them that they were running out of time. Uh, Rainbow Dash flew ahead to the pack, pushing briefly at each door they found, listening for any sounds of movement inside before racing to the next. They didn't have any time to waste with empty rooms or packs of enemies. The abbey was sprawling on the floor of the. The abbey was sprawling and full of dead ends. Where could she be? Prepare yourself, Queen Diana. Rainbow Dash screeched to a halt. Who said that? It sounded like it came from the last room. Turning sharply, she raced back and bucked the door open. Queen Diana looked at Rainbow Dash from the back of the room, horrified. She was being bucked into a corner by some pony dressed in brown robes. The queen's appearance looked spot on compared to the impostor Naga from before, but there was no question in Rainbow Dash's mind. This queen was the real deal. At long last, Queen Diana, we're here to save you. The queen's capturer turned around. Rainbow Dash quickly recognized her. Judging by the fuel rageful glare, it appeared that she also remembered Rainbow Dash. You! Chancellor Octavia's voice was dripping with venom. Twilight, Sparkle, and Frog raced into the room, having finally caught up with the Pegasus. My queen! Frog bounced across the room, sliding into position between the queen and the chancellor, broadsword held in the ready. Stop yawning! Stop yawning! Gotta stop yawning. Queen Diana's eyes lit up. Lady Frog, you came for me! And she brought a team! Rainbow Dash drew her katana floating on Chancellor Octavia's far side. The Chancellor sneered. Well, well, the infamous Lady Froggy Pony. Now this is a treat. I was expecting only to murder Her Royal Highness today, but your slimy corpse will make a fine trophy as well. That sounded kind of rarity-ish at the end. Frog tilted her head back slightly. Milady, please retreat to safety and allow us the pleasure of subduing this traitor. She nodded. She nodded. Please, all of you, be careful. She ran toward the opposite end of the room, allowing them enough space for the inevitable battle. Rainbow Dash gripped her hilt tightly. I don't get it. You're a good pony who works for the king and queen. How could you betray them? It doesn't make any sense. Chancellor Octavia chuckled darkly. A pony? Pathetic little fool. You clearly don't understand what you're dealing with. Dark bolts of energy coursed around her body, causing it to glow with a malevolent aura. She slowly lifted her head as the evil aura ceased. Caused her mind to levitate. Stop yawning! Causing her glow with the malice aura, she slowly to the air as the evil aura caused the maid to levitate. Allow me to show you my true form! The energy overtook her form, before exploding in a burst of darkness. Where the gray pony in brown once stood, there was now a monstrous yellow bulbous creature. She stood upon rows of brawny spiked claws. She bared her sharp fangs and grinned wickedly at Rainbow Dash. Yakra? I think that... Okay. Yakra! Frog gasped. Be wary, ponies! This foul creature is in legion with Nightmare Moon, and she will not give in without a fight. Bring it! Rainbow Dash tensed up her muscles, preparing to dive at the foe. You! Every pony... Wait. I don't know who said that, but it says you. Every pony turned. Twilight Sparkle was still standing at the entrance of the room, having. Oh, that's Twilight. You! Every pony turned. Twilight Sparkle was still standing at the entrance to the room, having not moved since entering. Her eyes were locked onto Yakra, burning with determination and anger. You're the one who full-napped Queen Diana. You're the one who's responsible for Princess Pinkamena being erased. You're the one who filled this abbey with those terrifying monsters. She began boldly striding toward Yakra, ignoring her angry, hissing, and disturbing appearance. Stop yawning. You're not a snake. You're not a frog. You're not a bat. Her horn ignited with magic as a myriad of tools, devices, and contraptions burst out of her saddlebag and slowly began orbiting around her. She screamed at the creature. Something. Quada era demonstrandium. Your flank is mine. Rainbow Dash cheered on her friend and her sudden burst of confidence. Yeah, you tell her, girl. Yakara cackled gleefully. Be my guest. She quickly scurried to her claws, racing toward Twilight Sparkle. She stared Yakara down, without so much as tensing a muscle. The orbit of stupid yawning. The orbit of tools spun wildly. Sorry, I'm stretching. I need to stretch out. The orbit of tools spun wildly around her, before suddenly coming to a complete stop. A strange emitter now floated between her and her oncoming assailant. It began to produce a high-pitched, fluctuating sound. Without warning, Yakara lost her balance, falling off her claws and sliding to a stop at Twilight Sparkle's hooves. Yakara snored lightly, having been forced to sleep. Well, okay. Turning off her hypno-wave device, she rotated her ring of tools again to select her next instrument. This time, the ring stopped on an oversized metal mallet. Winding it back, she swung a mighty golf swing, so hard as her magic allowed. She swung a mighty golf swing as hard as her magic allowed. Connecting squarely with Ikana's jaw and sending her flying into the room. Flying her into the air. Shouldn't I be launching her in the air, not flying her into the air? I don't know. I'm tired. Before she could land, Rainbow Dash rushed the creature, slashing her with a trio of rapid air dashes. The pair slid to the ground together. Infuriated, Yakara charged at the Pegasus, connecting with a full-body tackle and sending Rainbow Dash flying into the wall. Rebounding, the monster immediately changed direction and aimed for Twilight Sparkle again. The unicorn was caught off guard by the creature's erratic movements, and she too was hit, going for the trifectas. The trifecta. I'm so tired. Yakara turned and raced at Frog, but the element of surprise had been lost. Frog flicked her tongue at the far wall and pulled herself, lifting herself out of harm's way, slashing at Yakara as she flew through the air. How much is left with this? Oh, there's still so much left. Yakara... Oh, wait. Slashing as she flew through the air. Yakara turned to chase after the escaping frog, but reared her head sharply as a trio of darts embedded themselves into her backside. Turning, she saw that Twilight Sparkle had pulled out a dart gun and was firing at her from the far side of the room. Two can play at that game, pony! Arching her back, a pair of extrusions grew and shot a wave of spines into the air. They arched across the room before raining down upon Twilight Sparkle, slashing into her. Twi! Rainbow Dash called out. She turned to Frog, who nodded from across the room. Charging in unison, they flew at Yakra together, slashing the creature simultaneously with a devastating X-strike. Weakly, Yakra arched its back again, preparing another round of her needle attack. Wincing in pain, Twilight Sparkle lifted her head off the ground with one hoof. With another spin of its orbit, a flamethrower hovered before her. Taking careful aim, she let loose as a trail of flame arched across the room, engulfing Yakra. It howled in pain as flames covered its body. The flames were joined with bolts of dark energy, similar to those of its transformation. The energy overtook its form, causing her to glow with a myriad of rainbow colors before at last disappearing. Rainbow Dash did a somersault in excitement. "We did it! Yeah! Who's awesome? We're awesome!" Twilight Sparkle, are you all right? You took a nasty hit from those needles. Hold still. Frog immediately began licking the unicorn. Ooh, treating her wounds. Aw. She winced in pain slightly. Thanks, Frog. Don't worry, they only grazed me. I'll be okay. Rainbow Dash looked in amusement as Twilight Sparkle rose to her hooves. She's totally getting slimed by Frog's tongue, and she's not freaking out at all. Lady Frog, Queen Diana trotted up to the ponies. I am so relieved. Once again I am eternally indebted to you, and your heroic new friends as well. Frog kneeled before the Queen. Your words are most generous, my Queen. Come, let us return to the castle. Your king and your subjects will be most delighted to see your return. Whoa, hold your horses! Rainbow Dash landed in front of the room with a large ornate treasure chest, where a large ornate treasure chest stood. Looks like Yakara was holding onto some sweet loots. Now that she's not here, I doubt she'll mind if I just help myself. Yeah! She leapt back in fright as a fully grown pony rolled out of the treasure chest, bound and gagged. Twilight Sparkle reared over to help free the pony from its ropes. The pony stood, smoothing out her brown robes and brushing her gray mane into place. Oh, okay. You have my thanks, dear ponies. That infernal Yakra has phone-napped me and stashed me in that crude box like a pile of dirty linens. Queen Diana trotted forward to them. Chancellor Octavia, you're alive! Chancellor Octavia gasped and bowed deeply. Queen Diana, my prayers for your safety have been answered. When Yakara imprisoned me and I learnt of her plans, I feared for the worst. Queen Diana smiled. Come, every pony, let us return to Sugardeer Castle. We have much to celebrate. And that is the end of Chapter 5. That was a pretty good one. Sort of long. Beat their first boss battle, I guess. So yeah. This video's been going on for a while, so I think I'll stop it, right here and stuff. So, like always, thanks for watching my videos. Check out one of my other videos. Go check out Multi Fanfic a Day and Brody Fanfic. Great friends of mine. They do great readings. Better than I do. Sorry I was yawning all throughout this reading. I'm very tired and stuff. What else? Go check out one of my other videos if you want to. Like, subscribe, comment. Show me, I don't care. And I guess with that, I will see you guys later.